Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme. And where we are today is we're actually at PORTSTEWART. We were down setting out a few chairs and whatnot for the Keswick convention that's coming up. And unfortunately I was a wee bit late down, so most of the work, if not all the work in fact, was done. But we got here eventually. So we're actually at PORTSTEWART. Of course, we were setting the chairs out with the Belfast City Mission. So I thought I'd do a wee bit of history while I'm here. And this is actually Fairfield House, and of course the grounds. So I think I've discovered the Lo Ness Monster here at Fairfield House, believe it or believe it not. Because there's its tail, as you can see. So that's the tail of the Lo Ness Monster. So he's obviously swam across here to PORTSTEWART. And then that's his main body of the Lo Ness Monster. And it's the shape of a chair. And then just over here is the head and the teeth of the Lo Ness Monster, as you can see. So sorry to have to let the folks of Scotland know, but Nessie has departed from Lo Ness, and she's now in PORTSTEWART. So that's probably why there hasn't been any sightings of her in quite some while on the Lo Ness in Scotland, on the lake there. But we're not here to talk about the Lo Ness Monster. We're here to talk about Fairfield House. Now, Fairfield House was built in 1860, or around about 1860, and it replaced an earlier house built in 1710. The remains of which were present on the site up until about 1980. Now, the site of the present house was owned by the Kerr ONeal family, who were relatives of the O'Neills of Shane's Castle. And of course, this is now the Arts Centre in PORTSTEWART. Lovely house, isn't it? The door's locked, but I can take you in a wee bit. Very modern now inside, so it is. As you can see, a lot of boxes there. Must be doing a bit of clearing out. There's the old window blinds. I love them old window blinds. Really gives the house a feel for being old. So the Kerrs actually came here from Scotland during the plantation of Ulster. Just take you around and show you the side of the building. That's part of the Arts Centre now too, that build there. As you can see. So the first owner of the land appears to have been Robert Kerr, whose son David was killed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Now, Robert's daughter Hester, she married Felix ONeal, and then the holding passed to Mark Kerr ONeal, and then to his son, who is also called Mark Kerr ONeal, who died in 1818. And the family are actually buried in Ballyacron old churchyard opposite Fairfield here, and I've actually covered the grave before in another video when I covered the old church, the old ruined church. Didn't know the entire history of the family then. Didn't know, for instance, that this area here was connected to them. But the tomb represents 800 years of the family's burial. So that's fantastic. So I'm going to show you that grave again. I'll not do the history of the church this time because I, excuse me, I do have that in another video. So amazing. Now in the 1760s, the earlier house is said to have been a temporary refuge for half-hanged McKnighton. He is said to have hidden from soldiers under one of the ladies' skirts in the drawing room. John McKnighton was born 1722, died in 1761. But in November 1761, he attempted to abduct Mary Ann Knox from her carriage on a family journey to Dublin so that they could elope with each other. Now the failed abduction went tragically wrong when he actually shot and mortally wounded her by mistake. Very blowy the day, so I hope the wind doesn't put you off or spoil the sound for you. Now he was convicted of murder and he was sentenced to hang, and McKnighton hurled himself from the gallows with such force that the rope actually broke, and he had the sympathy of the watching crowd who believed that this was actually divine intervention for a man so distraught with grief over the death of his lover. And so he was successfully hanged a second time then, and this time he did get hanged in December 1761, and he's buried in Patrick Street Graveyard in Strabane in County Tyrone in an unmarked grave in the corner of one of the corners of the graveyard. Now, during the unrest of 1772, in which the Hearts of Steel were prominent, Mrs. Eliza ONeal wrote to her mother describing a state of siege, or at least preparing for siege, at the old house. She said, "We have bags of sand nailed up in most of the windows to keep out their musket balls, and plenty of charges ready made in paper to charge the faster, and 6 guns always ready." Of course, the Hearts of Steel were a Protestant secret society formed in 1769 as a protest movement against the extortionate rates that the landlords had put on their properties. Now, it's believed that Samuel Orr, Esquire, built the new house in about 1860, and that was the house that I just showed you. And in 1980, it opened up as the first art centre in Northern Ireland, and of course there's the house there, and it's still active art centre today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you into the old graveyard, and although I have covered this grave in another video, I'm going to cover it in this one as well. So hopefully you will still enjoy it if you've seen it before, and if you haven't seen it before, hopefully you will enjoy it. 800 years of burial here, it's with this family, it's quite incredible. So check out that other video that I've done. You'll get it in the Williamite section of the playlist. So I'm not going to show you or talk about the church, or at least inside. I'll just show you as we're passing, but because I have covered it before, so I just really want to focus on the Kerr ONeal grave. Amazing piece of history here, folks, I have to say. So this is it here. Here's the church. This is it here. Pretty amazing, isn't it? So that's the stone. So I'll show you that in a minute. 800 years of burials here. Absolutely incredible. With the Kerr ONeal family. A lot of it's grew over now, but you can still see quite a bit of it. So the slab here was actually put up, I think it was 1818. You can see where it's broke there. Still hasn't been fixed. It was broke the last time as well, where it's coming away. So it is. So this stone, what does that say? This stone, erected pursuant to the will of Mark Kerr, and that's ONeal of Fairfield Esquire. That was the Mark Kerr that I told you about, who had the slab erected here. Lineal representative what does that say? Of Arthur, second son of Phelim Duff ONeal. That's Hester of the ONeals, Shane's Castle, I think that says. Who, that grass is, that leaves are killing me here. Who departed this life without issue on the 15th of October, aged 34 years, and is here, what's that say? Interred, I think that is, being the burial place of the ancestors by his paternal grandmother for 800 years, as you can see. It's either 880 or 800. I wasn't sure the last time. I think it's 800. I'm still not 100% sure, but I think it is. Years, 800 years, amongst whom, sorry for the slowness here of the reading, were his great-grandfather Robert Kerr of Fairfield Esquire, and Marge, I think that is, his wife, with their sons, Mark, can't make that one out, William, Nathaniel, Robert, David, killed at the Revolution of 1688, as you can see. And then it goes on, Felix ONeal, etc. That's amazing, isn't it? So this is the burial place then. of the Kerr ONeal family. Absolutely fantastic. And of course it was David mentioned there, who was actually killed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Absolutely fantastic. So thanks for watching, and God bless.